Uh, hey there, world. It's been a while since I've talked to a camera, so excuse me for looking, sounding, being a bit awkward. Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry about that. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it at the end of the video and like how I want to come back and the plans for this channel and everything. I'm gonna talk about that at the end of the video, just a little bit to kind of give you context. But for now, I want to talk about books because that's what I do here, or it's what I did when I actually made videos. So yeah, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to my book life. It's a new year, which means new reading challenges, except I'm not gonna call them challenges, because challenges, as I found out, scare me and then I don't do them. So instead I'm gonna call them reading hopes. This is what I hope to read in 2021. No promises made to no one, including myself. But basically I only have 2 reading hopes for 2021. The first one is to read more non-fiction. I kind of started doing that a little bit at the end or towards the end of last year. And I've always had trouble with non-fiction, simply because I have trouble understanding facts. Like knowledge, like factual knowledge is quite difficult for me to understand. I'm more of an emotional, intelligent person. So the way I tend to learn is when people tell me personally their story, and like I can listen and I can ask questions. That's how I learn. And that's cool, but I also like, I only know so many people personally. And there's so many other stories that I won't get to learn if I only stick to that way of learning. So I want to try to get more into reading non-fiction and to reading people's stories and hopefully learning that way as well. And the way I found that I actually enjoy reading non-fiction, or at least like feel like I comprehend what's going on, if I read it during my work time. Because it sounds so stupid, but I'm kind of, when I'm at work, I'm in this work headspace. It's kind of like being at school back in the day, where like when I was at home I didn't want to like think about school and I wanted to like read fun things. And when I was at school I actually enjoyed reading or learning or like being a student. So now I found that when I'm at work and when I have like my lunch break or something like that, or at the moment with working during lockdown, just free time whilst waiting for customers to pick up their stuff. So yeah, I have quite a lot of time at work at the moment, and I'm already in this work headspace. So I read 2 non-fiction books this last year. One was Why I No Longer Talk to White People About Race, and one was Shameless, both of which I highly recommend. I think I'm gonna make a non-fiction video at some point during the year when I actually like read enough to make a video about it. I'm currently reading a non-fiction book about German politics, which is also really interesting. So yeah, I'm getting into that type of reading, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. So that's my hope number 1. And that's kind of like non-specific. There isn't like a list of specific non-fiction books I want to read. It's just something I want to try to get into more. And then my second hope for 2021 is quite specific, because there are so many books on my shelf that I actually haven't read. I'm gonna get into that again later. But part of that is that I have like the next part of a book series, and I've read like the first few books of that series, but I haven't continued reading them, but I did continue buying them because, you know, stupid. So there are quite a few book series that I already own that I just haven't continued reading. So I made a list of everything on my shelf. By the way, I'm looking like behind you because that's where my shelves are. Sorry, I'm not being rude. So I made a specific list of book series that I have on my shelf that I haven't finished yet. The ideal goal is to finish all of those series or like catch up with the latest books of all of those series that I already own before starting any new book series. As I said, ideal goal. It's not very realistic knowing myself. Also because I know that there are also some books in my TBR that aren't on my shelf yet that are also first parts of series, so probably not actually gonna happen that way. And I'm gonna walk you through the ones that I have. I actually already made a start at this. The first book I read in 2021 was A Tale of Magic by Chris Colfer, and that series is the prequel to A Land of Stories, which is, in my opinion, one of the best fairy tales or like fairy tale adaptations ever. Land of Stories by Chris Colfer is so clever and funny and smart and charming, and I love that series. So A Tale of Magic is the prequel to that. And I finished the first part and I just got started on the second one, which is A Tale of Witchcraft. I took off the dust jacket because who needs dust jackets? So yeah, these are really pretty. They're kind of middle grade to like young adult-ish. So the main characters in Land of Stories, I think, started at 10 years, I want to say, I'm not quite sure, and got to, I think, 14, but I could be wrong. So somewhere around that age group, and these books are just so lovely. And I just, yeah, Tale of Magic is also really, really great. And it's always funny when you're reading like prequels or sequels to have those little connections to the original. So yeah, really excited about that. Already got a head start. The next one is Eve of Man by the Fletcher couple. Again, a book I absolutely adored. Didn't read the second part. Actually, this one is a bit of a cheat for the challenge because I don't actually already own the second part. I only have the first part, but I want to continue the series. I want to know what happens next. So I'm gonna count this towards the challenge or the hope. And yeah, I want to read the second part of Eve of Man. I think it's a brilliant book, really interesting, like sci-fi feminism. So I want to go on with the series. Then I'm reading the German translation of this, and this is actually the first part. I'm now up to the 5th part, so I've read the 4th book. I don't already own the 5th book, but I want to continue on with the series. This is Benedict Jacker's London series, which is like magical realism kind of. So it's like a little bit, the way I describe it is like Harry Potter for adults. And I think it's brilliant, it's really cool. It actually has gotten a bit dark in the 4th part, so I'm hoping that it isn't gonna like drift completely into like so dark and brutal that I can't continue with the series. But at the moment it's also still funny, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed and I'm gonna pick up the 5th part and read that. These are also like quite quick reads. I think I've finished all of the books now in like 2 or 3 days when I actually had like time on my hands. Also because they're really like thrilling and I want to know what happens, so I basically just like binge through them and they're so good. Then I have Marissa Meyer. again, amazing books, amazing books. I think I've read the Lunar Chronicles twice, every single book of those. And I love the Lunar Chronicles. Again, amazing fairy tale adaptation. So cool. I actually think I like Renegades even more. Just because Renegades is more original. Obviously, it's not an adaptation of anything. It's like so unique, and I think Renegades is amazing. And Arch Enemies, again, Arch Enemies was so good and it was so thrilling and I couldn't stop reading it. And now I have Supernova. This has been on my shelf so long that I sometimes forget I haven't actually read it yet, because this is the final book. And I'm gonna be honest, the reason I haven't read it yet is because I'm scared. Anything could happen, and I'm scared. I just don't want the characters to get hurt. I just want everyone to be happy, and yeah. But I also want to know what happens, and I want to get back into this world. I'm thinking about doing like a reading marathon with all 3 books, because even though I do remember what happened in the first 2 books, I think I'm not so clear on the details anymore. So I think I might have to reread them before I read the 3rd part. If I do that, I'm gonna do a vlog. If I don't, and I just read the 3rd part, I'm still gonna let you know. But yeah, I'm extremely excited and extremely terrified of this book. And then we have Cornelia Funke, my favorite German author. She's fantastic, she's amazing, she's the best. And this is the 4th part of Reckless. It did just come out, so like not as long ago as all the other books on this list. It's pretty new, but again, I might have to reread the other parts, the first 3 books in the series, because Cornelia Funke takes her time with books, and I think it's almost been 2 years since I've read the previous book in the series. Also, Cornelia Funke is also the author of the Inkheart series, which in German is called Tintenherz, and it's just been revealed that Reckless and Inkheart are connected, and there's also gonna be a 4th Inkheart book. So I'm gonna have to reread the entire Inkheart trilogy and then see how these 2 worlds are connected. So I might make this a big project and like do a Cornelia Funke reading vlog, reading mania, reading whatever, and just reread all of her books. But yeah, Cornelia Funke Reckless, the 4th part, is also part of this reading hope of finishing series. And then to the total cheats, but have been on my shelf for a while, I have 2 series that I haven't actually started at all. I just already own multiple books of these series, because I either got them for free or for super cheap. The first one is Garth Nix. I've heard amazing things about this author, and I just thought these books sounded cool. I don't know what the original titles are. These are the German translations. Wait, let me check if I find. Mr. Mundy, The Key of the Kingdom book. Keys of the Kingdom book? Yeah. So The Keys of the Kingdom book is the original series title. I'm reading the German translation, and again, I just own them because I got them for like super cheap at like a sale from a library. So I want to read them. I own 3 parts, not 3 continuous parts though. I think I own part 1, part 3 and part 7, so that's helpful. But yeah, at some point I'm gonna get into reading Garth Nix. And then the last series on this list of series I hope to read in 2021 is a special one. It's The Map of Magic by Kerry Ryan and John Park Davis. I own all 4 parts. The reason I own all 4 parts was because they were super cheap. the reason I didn't even start with them yet is that they were super cheap because these are misprints. And they are misprints in the way that the titles aren't actually what's in them. So that sounds so weird. But basically, the title page doesn't match the content of the book. Yes, the content is always one of the parts of magic, but it's not the one that like the title page says. So basically, I don't know the actual order of the books that I own because the titles aren't right. The one that I own that is supposed to be part 1 could be part 3. I have no idea. Basically, I have to start reading each of these to figure out what the actual order will be. I saw this and I thought it was cool to own misprints, and they sound really interesting. They actually do remind me a little bit of Land of Stories. But now I'm kind of scared of the challenge because I just don't know how to figure out where to start. So yeah, those are the books that I hope to read in 2021, or some of the books. As I said, no promises made, but I will keep you updated. I also have quite a few manga that I want to read, both continuations of series and standalones. I haven't included them in this video because I think I'm gonna make a separate video with like the mangas I still want to read this year and like a little manga reading vlog, because I like to do that continuously if I'm reading a manga series. So at some point when I have like a long weekend or something, or like a little break from work, I will be reading loads of manga, and I'm gonna make a vlog about it and like also tell you about the manga I hope to read this year. I also still have a reading vlog of the new Christopher Paolini that I filmed in October and just didn't get around to editing and uploading. So that's also to come at some point, maybe. So yeah, there is still some stuff, some reading stuff, some other reading hopes, reading goals, whatever, that I'll keep you updated on if I manage to do that. We'll see. And as you can tell from the title, there's also like actual goals, like physical goals, because my book collection is kind of expanding, let's put it like that. And therefore I need more shelves. And I just thought I'd share that with you. So my bookshelf goals for 2021 is first of all to get a bookshelf in my hallway for my fairy tale collection. So I've been collecting fairy tales from all over the world, different cultures, different cities, different bookstores, and it's super cool and it's a lot of fun. And it started out like a little project, but now it's been expanding quite a lot. So they need their own bookshelf, and I want to like present them like an actual collection. So I want to do that. And also, I've been avoiding this for so long because it feels so ridiculous. But being a bookseller and getting like free books and being surrounded by amazing books all the time isn't that good for my TBR. So during the past year, my physical TBR pile of books that I have lying on the floor that I want to read at some point has grown from like a pile of this size to 3 piles of this size. So I'm gonna get a bookshelf for all my unread books. God, that sounds so stupid. I know a lot of people have that already, and it's like, fine, but I've been avoiding it for so long. But it's just sad that those books are just lying around, and I wanna like give them a proper place. And I also think having them nice and neat in a shelf is gonna help me actually read them, because at the moment, like, I just stack them on top of each other, so the books at the bottom of the pile, I just can't reach them. I can't read them because I physically can't get to them without like messing up the entire TBR pile. So 2 bookshelves for me this year, that's the goal. Let's be real, I'm gonna need more. But that's the goal for now. And as I said, let's briefly talk about 2020. I'm sorry I haven't been here. I tried, but I just couldn't. Obviously there's like the whole like global pandemic stuff and everything, and like all the obvious reasons, but to be honest, it's just also been a really difficult year personally. Like, on top of everything that's like obvious and everyone had to deal with in 2020, there was just a lot for me to deal with personally in my own life. And something had to go, something was too much, and I just, I had to take a break from YouTube. I actually even didn't watch a lot of YouTube videos for a while because I just wanted to get away from the whole like internet space. I also tried to get away from social media for a bit, and it helped, and I'm better now. Not good, but better. And it also helped me realize that I actually really enjoy this. I missed talking to you and like telling you about my books, and like I did upload some poetry videos and I really enjoyed that, and some of you gave me lovely feedback, so thank you so much for that. So yeah, it was a difficult time, but it helped me realize that I really enjoy this and that I want to come back to YouTube, not only with making videos, but also with like interacting with the people I watch and like with the community, and I really enjoy this space, and I've missed it, and thank you to everyone who made me feel like I was missed as well. That's just really lovely. So yeah, thank you for sticking around if you've made it this far in the video. And thanks for like being here. The plan is, or the hope is, for me to upload 1 video a month. I won't be able to do more than that probably. Thanks for watching. I've missed you, and I hope you always have a reason to smile. Bye.